It's good to see all of you, and I'm looking forward to a very good afternoon with these amazing leaders from the IT industry. So welcome everyone. I think we're going to start with a video. I welcome you all to the presentation ceremony of the Inspiring and Successful Leadership Awards by Pragati Leadership, this time for the IT sector. Launched earlier this year with the vision of recognizing stellar leadership qualities, these awards are organized sector by sector. And in August, we honored India's exemplary leaders from the manufacturing and supply chain sectors. These leaders and the organizations they represented set the bar for our awards really high. So this journey of excellence continues. And today we are gathered here to recognize some of the top leaders from the IT sector. The awards recognize those who inspire their teams and steer organizational initiatives towards success. By turning the spotlight on these individuals, the awards aim to catalyze more people to become inspiring and successful. So once again, a very warm welcome to this presentation ceremony of the Inspiring and Successful Leadership Awards by Pragati Leadership, where we recognize and celebrate stellar leaders from the Indian IT industry. I'd like to start by expressing our wholehearted appreciation and gratitude to our jury members. These are senior leaders from the corporate, social, and academic worlds. Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, Chairman, 5F World, Lighthouse Communities, and Honeywell Automation India Limited. Mr. Tarun Sharma, Founder, Yoda, former CEO, BMC Software India, and Board Member, Global Logic India. And Dr. Shikha Jain, Professor and Director, IMDR. Mr. Vibhas Joshi, author, coach, facilitator, former Board of Director member, SAS Research and Development, India. Each of these individuals handles great responsibilities and their time is very precious, but they dedicated some of this time and their focus to this evaluation process. For this, we are really very grateful. To all the nominees, thank you for your participation and helping us set the bar right at the top. Some came forward, while there are individuals who nominated other leaders whom they find inspiring, and we are honored that they chose to participate in the awards. I would like to express our gratitude for one particular individual, Mr. Suhas Palekar, a senior HR professional, management professor, who now describes himself as a storyteller because he submitted the highest number of nominations for the IT sector awards. So thank you. With that, I'd like to convey a warm welcome to our guests who are present with us here on Zoom or LinkedIn. I'm sure that you're going to feel greatly enriched as our winners share their leadership mantras. A special welcome to our advisory board, all our colleagues, customers, and friends. We'll start today's program with the Pragati Anthem.
Working from our strengths, serving joyfully from the heart, evolving wholesome leaders that are a class apart. with ease and grace on a playful chorus, drawing inspiration from the source, co-creating a world of light, serving customers to delight, thriving as a community. Pragati Leadership. Yeah, change begins with me.
We start our program with a short talk by Mr. Arun Vaklu. Mr. Arun Vaklu is a thought leader, coach, mentor, and facilitator for leaders across sectors and geographies. He plays the role of Executive Director, Pragati Leadership. And every time you listen to Arun speak, you get a new perspective on life, people, and organizations. So it's fitting that our program should start with his talk as he shares the vision behind the Inspiring and Successful Leadership Awards. Over to you, Arun.
Thank you, Suhasini, and a very hearty good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is such a joy to be here with all of you today. Heartiest congratulations to all the winners of the second Inspiring and Successful Leadership Awards. A big thank you to our August jury members who have diligently selected our awardees, and also to all our esteemed viewers who are present for this ceremony this evening. Let me go back into history a little bit. When Anu and I started Pragati 36 years ago, people laughed when we spoke of values like love, joy, compassion. I remember a friend telling me, "You guys are crazy. You're trying to make snowballs in hell." What he meant, friends, was that business is hardly a place to nourish the deeper values that humanity has cherished for centuries. 36 years down the road, having partnered with 1,500 clients, touched the lives of 140,000 leaders in 29 countries, I'm humbled to share that by God's grace, the tiny pathway of leadership that we were hacking 36 years back is now slowly but surely turning into a global highway. Friends, we're passing through some really turbulent times. The COVID pandemic set everyone thinking, especially millennials who began to ask things like, is business for life or is life for business? What is the purpose of all this striving? The wars, climate change, disruptions suggest turbulent times ahead. The prognosis is that things will become worse before they get better. In this great transition, business can be a powerful force for good. The kind of leadership that the world now needs will have to tap into the inner resources of infinite spirit. That is who we all are at our core. This creative spirit will give leaders clarity, confidence, and courage to face the turbulence and disruptions that are coming in front of us in the coming years. It will give leaders the capacity to hold a vision of co-creating a world that works for all. It is this infinite spirit that gives leaders resilience. With its space of unbroken calm and clarity, it is the source of great faith and strength. Even when everything around a leader may be crumbling, its unbounded compassion and steadiness paints a very different vision of success. Narrow, constricting, and selfish definitions of success are changing. True and inspiring business success must necessarily add value to all stakeholders, to the shareholders, to employees, to suppliers, the environment, and everyone who is touched by the activities of the business. Inspiring and successful businesses bring joy, abundance, peace, and pride to the hearts of all those who are touched by it. It is time to move from the toxic ecosystem of business being a source of destruction and despair to business becoming a joyful ecosystem of regeneration, abundance, community, and creative innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, the leaders you will hear from in a short while not only embody the power of spirit and inner resources, but also combine this with tools which lead to excellent and successful business performance. These are leaders who care not only for people and profits, but also for a higher purpose for their organizations and a deep care for the environment. Today's awards are our way of celebrating these exemplary leaders who live by the values that the world needs. Through this award ceremony, we look forward to bringing attention to the kind of leadership that the world needs. Pragati Leadership believes that such leaders can be cultivated through an expansion of the mind and the heart. Friends, we see India as a lighthouse to the world, living the values of compassion, holistic understanding, and excellence in every field. We see her as guiding leaders, especially young leaders, in business, government, and civil society to co-create a future that works for all. Pragati Leadership dreams of being India's first multinational in the space of learning, leadership, and organizational development. We dream that after years of mental colonialism, India shows the way with her universal wisdom, compassion, and deep reverence for life in all its forms. In India, it is leaders like the winners of today's awards who are setting a shining example for others to follow. We wish them the heartiest of congratulations and much gratitude for walking the path of inspiration and success. Thank you for your blessings and partnership in this exciting journey of unfolding great leadership.
I'll just start by saying thank you, Arun, for those very, very insightful and rousing thoughts. And it's now my privilege in place of Vibhas to announce the name of our first award winner for today. He is a force to reckon with and leads the 1,000+ resources of his company. And under his strategic leadership, the company has tripled revenues in the last 3 years. His roles include the India Delivery Center and managing the global delivery teams and various businesses across the globe. He leads the company's strategic planning and management functions and collaborates with executive leadership on future plans. He's a visionary who believes in helping organizations create this data-driven culture by embracing newer concepts like feature engineering, neural networks, and deep learning. Please welcome Mr. Sachin Ghaisas, Managing Partner, MTech, a leader taking his company to great heights and also creating opportunities for his colleagues and people to give back to the community through the Red Cross and other initiatives. Mr. Ghaisas, I'd like to invite you to speak.
Thanks, Suhasini, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Sachin.
Hey, good evening. And thanks, Pragati team and independent juries for recognizing me. And Arun, special thanks to you. I think, whatever you said, I think you tee up, a very good points. And I think I'm probably going to add a few more points on that. But that's really the core of how I'm looking at from a leadership challenge and what really kind of drove our engagement, right, with Pragati and how it has been a great help, right? So I mean, as we all know, right, I think since pandemic, I think the definition of a leader and leadership qualities have kind of evolved quite a bit, right? And motivating and retaining, right, more importantly, a workforce that's really torn equally between home and office like never before. Has really forced the IT leadership to think of various different aspects, probably that they're not. I mean, obviously we have thought about it, but we never kind of acted on that, right? And those are like first is, I think we need to realize that we need to share a typical engineering mindset of managing teams and people, right? I think as an engineer, right, I always feel it's 2 + 2 should always be 4, right? And I think that's where I realized over this last, definitely for last few years, and we have more than triple our team over the last 3 years, and most of them have been kind of working remotely, right? And probably I have not seen many of the faces. I mean, there was a time when I used to, take a final interview for everyone, and now I've not probably met, most of them, right? So I think that culture, I think, is the one single thing I feel is that is going to tie all of us together. And as a if you're going to be successful as an organization and you need to continue performing for your clients and delivering, I think you need to have that cultural bonding. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of individuals that are working on you in a contract, right? So I think so empathy, right? EQ as well as IQ is what I think really is the we need to kind of focus on that, right? And from a leadership perspective, so if I had to summarize the problem, what we thought, right? And as a I also want to kind of thank the leadership team, right, at MTech, because it's not a single man's job, right? I think it has been a collective team effort that has really helped us. And I think what we realize is in today's world, and as Arun said, right, the inner spirit, co-creation, and a lot of those points, I think it all boils down to the fact that you cannot just macromanage people. People cannot see somebody in action, take them as a role model, and then kind of follow and then become a leader by just virtue of spending years with them in the organization or in the field, right? So I think the one single most kind of challenge, I think, what we face as a leader is, how do we make our teams, our leaders think, right? So think is the only, I think, single problem, and that needs to come from within, right? You cannot force somebody to think from all the different perspectives and deliver value with whatever they're doing, right? So yes, I think empathy and respect for others and all those things have become more critical now. At the same time, the expectations with the delivery are also kind of are same, right? It's not that expectations from our clients and our partners have kind of reduced just because of pandemic. I think in fact they have increased because typically I see the Indian kind of teams are moving up in the value chain, right? They're becoming more critical in the success of our clients. So I think how do we make our people think, right? How do we make them realize what is the culture, right? What is the organizational culture? What is our differentiator, right? How do we differ from somebody else, right? I think those are the very valuable aspects, and we were really at some point we were lost because of the growth what we were kind of seeing, and not having enough kind of internal team to kind of focus on these aspects. And that's where I think I'm glad we thought, okay, let's kind of partner with somebody, and we went to assessment, and then I was still not very sure, right, if it's really somebody coming from outside and trying to understand how do we deliver value in terms of the technology and all that, and as Arun said, right, and you come from a completely different perspective of the people, culture, leadership qualities, and there are entirely different things. Although I think we always appreciate value, I think we never realized the need and the importance of it than what it was in recent time, right? And so that's where it's all started. And the first workshop what we had with Anu, right, and even I brought in all my leadership team in that workshop, and it was a 4-hour, and I was thinking, okay, really, do I need like this 4-hour workshop for this? But then I think the kind of discussion we had in those initial call with Anu, and and I think that we took back that as the input, and then Pragati team went back and kind of fine-tuned the the courses and things like that. I think that has really I think helped us, right? I mean, it has really helped us challenge that we are trying to address and continue our growth, and at the same time, I mean, see, the profitability and other things will come, right? And we are in a knowledge economy, and people is our key, right? And if we can't take care of people, right, if we can't make them think in the right direction and help them balance the different stress that they're kind of facing on a daily basis, right, at home, and at the same time doing their work, I think that's where really I kind of appreciate the help. And I think in today's leadership, it's all about kind of creating your next level of leaders, and everybody else who can really is they're able to tackle these challenges themselves, and also at the same time help somebody else tackle these as well, right? So I think those are my thoughts, and I'm really glad that I've been part of the journey, and I've been able to contribute to my colleagues and company and our clients, right? So I'm thankful for that. So thanks, Pragati Leadership, once again, and I really appreciate what we're trying to do here together, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Sachin. There is so much for each of us to take away from your words and wealth of experience. Our next winner has donned several hats over an illustrious career spanning nearly 4 decades. His experience spans the healthcare, manufacturing, and system management domains. He has led product development, client delivery, IT support, and health plan operations. He has consistently held leadership positions and he essayed all his roles with a dedication and commitment only observed among true leaders. For this approach, he has gained the respect of his employees as well as global stakeholders. A leader who believes in passing on the mantle of responsibility to the next wave of managers. He has actively mentored upcoming talent and shared his vision with IT associations in Pune. Please join me in congratulating Nitin Deshpande, MD Evolent, a visionary who has developed and built people-centric strategies in every business that he has led. His humane approach to people, policies, and processes has earned him this deserving spot in our list of high achievers. So, Nitin, we request you to please address us.
Thank you, Nilüfer. And first of all, let me just say that it's been such an honor to even be considered. Forget about being selected, but because Pragati is held very high esteem, not just in the Pune region but anywhere. And Arun, all the best to you for becoming the first multinational in that regard. So to give a flavor of that, I'm actually speaking from Manila right now. I'm not in India, so it's kind of international right now. I have some colleagues from our Manila office also here, so it's really a great occasion. So I've known Pragati since its inception, and Arun probably even longer than that, and Vibhas for more than 40 years. So it's either way, it's like coming from home, which is even more special. So just to share a few things, it's difficult after Sachin spoke about so many things. I don't know. I don't know how much I can add, but just a few things that come to my mind. So first of all, the first thing that I have tried to inculcate right from my first job was how do you learn from others? Leaders should be learning rather than leading from of course leading also, but so I just remembered my first job straight out of college was for a team where every single person was older than me and knew much more about what they were doing than I ever did, because I had no experience whatsoever. So, basically I told them, look, I am here to learn from you. And that worked so well that I kind of continued doing that forever. So that was the first thing that I will say. Second, people ask me, how did you grow your teams so well and so fast, etc. And the trick I say is that it's very simple. Just hire the right people and let them do whatever they want to do, and be there only for supporting them. If they have a challenge, and there too, it's not really about telling them what to do, but being the sounding board and opening up some possibilities and being like some kind of a bouncing board to bounce off ideas. And that really has worked well. It's actually good because you also spend less time than doing the stuff that somebody else should be doing. Third, and this is I'm a great believer in this. When we hire, who is the right person? So it's never the person with the right labels or the right accent or the right clothing. That's not what you look for at all, or even the right skills. Now that may come as a surprise, meaning what I mean is that 100% match of skills is not necessarily the right person to hire. It's the fit for attitude rather than the skills. Skills can be taught. And in any case, they need to be learned and relearned and relearned because they'll keep changing. Whereas attitude is something which lasts you for a lifetime. So I typically try to go with attitude rather than skills. Of course, skills are important, and I'm not trying to devalue that, but that's the part which I really have believed in. Another thing which I really believe in is, particularly when you're a leader, you should not just say that you are available, you should really be available to people. Meaning if somebody wants, they should have the confidence. I mean, I've had people just walking in and saying that, look, I have a problem. My wife is having some medical issues. Can you help me, figure out how to go about it? Now, nothing to do with work, but the fact that they felt confident enough to come and talk to you, that shows that, that there's that engagement. So be available. In fact, at one point in time in one of my jobs, my HR head gave me feedback saying that the only thing you should do is cut down on the time that you spend with the people, because you are spending too much time and therefore you probably get less time doing other things. I said, but that's my only job. You guys are supposed to do the other work. I'm supposed to talk to the people. So, being available to people is very important. And again, that relates to, having genuine empathy. Because, you can talk as much as you like about empathy, but unless it comes from your heart. And when it comes from the heart, it touches the other heart. It's no matter what words you use, those are not going to really have an impact. For example, we just, I think last Saturday, we had our annual event after a long time, and with families attending, etc. And just so many family members who came and talked about, that they had worked with me somewhere in some other company or something like that. And they said, we came here only to meet you. Now that is really so, heartwarming that, people have that relationship, because like Sachin said earlier, ultimately it's these jobs are about people. These companies are about people. So if you can relate with people, have that engagement, then everything else falls in place. So that's all I wanted to say. And again, once again, heartfelt thanks, and really honored to get this recognition from Pragati.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deshpande, for sharing your leadership mantras with us. Our next winner today has brought about much needed transformation in the HR cultures of the organization. Ms. Kashish Kapoor, Associate Vice President and Head of HR, NEC Corporation India, has over 24 years of experience. She has spent over 14 years in the service sectors with large and complex enterprises. With India Go Big initiative, NEC India aims to become a global hub for innovation and solutions delivery. And with that aim in mind, the company plans to increase its headcount to 14,000 by 2025. Ms. Kapoor, I request you to please share your leadership perspective with our audience today.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's absolutely humbling to be here amidst such an august gathering. It's truly humbled, and thank you so much for the honor. I think while I was listening to Arun, a lot of what he said just resonated so much. We've spent, I can be honest here, it's an HR fraternity, we spent years traditionally trying to create very complex engagement models to handle the one very simple human engagement. And I think it's just boiled down over the years. We've learned, as we mature, we've learned that it is just trust, it's just authenticity, it's just communication, it's just being able to, at times, and in fact, many a time, it is just being able to get to sit down across the table and have a conversation. Difficult, good, hard, ugly, different facets, but I think that's just one mantra which seems to work. So going back to what Arun was talking about in terms of snowballing the corporate world with love and trust, I think those are just the values which uphold and which have proved and have been able to survive the test of time. And I will go back to the last 2 years, which for me have shown the mirror to what actually works and engages and binds people. We've had very tough times, both because of COVID as well as because of what the market was looking like, the external factors, everything. But I think at the end of the day, the one thing that gave that ray of hope, which gave that confidence, which got that smile on people's faces within the organization, on team calls, in engagements, in getting that passion back to work. And when I say passion back to work, I think I cannot finish this statement without mentioning Pragati, who partnered with us in these last 2 years. It was just so beautiful to see them come out very authentic, vulnerable, asking questions, challenging us in trying to create the NEC India's leadership modules and architectures that we were working on. And those were moments of truth. And I think those moments of truth are the times when personally I have had to take a pause reflect, introspect, imbibe, appreciate, and then go back with a sense of wanting to give back to so much that one has been able to soak in. So I think that is all that I will contribute, to somebody, to something that can make a leader, that can inspire people around, that can bind organizations, that can have collective goals, that can build one teams that think alike, strive for a goal, bring in diversity, and with a strong sense of inclusivity. So I think that's about it. I won't make it lengthy. I won't make it long, because it's very, very simple. It's just authenticity, it's communication, it's empathy, it's resilience, it's trust. And which is what makes it beautiful to get back to work, and the people that make you work and inspire you. So thank you once again. And thanks a lot, Pragati, for this honor.
Thank you, Ms. Kashish, for your, for sharing your insights. I think it was a pleasure listening to your inspiring words. Our next winner is Mr. Krish Shankar, the Group Head of Human Resources at Infosys. With over 30 years of experience and after leading several global HR functions in organizations like Bharti Airtel and Hindustan Unilever, he's currently heading the HR department at Infosys. He's also the author of Catalyze, Power Up Your People Ecosystem. It is the new HR playbook that provides a practical guide to unlock your people power. Let us please welcome the HR leader who has brilliant leadership and people skills to share his insights on one of the key elements of business success, catalyzing people power. Mr. Krish Shankar, may I please request you to address the audience?
Thank you. Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here, and really humbled and honored by this. Well, I think in the end, I think leadership is all about what I believe is, understanding human beings. That's about it. It's simple common sense and living to your human values. That's about it. So I think there are many people who talk all kinds of rocket. They'll call it's no rocket science in what I believe. I think in the end, it is you got to be authentic, which is somewhere an alignment between your values, your beliefs, and your behavior. And once you achieve that, then I think everything falls into place. Yeah, that's what I believe. I think there's always the other thing that I've learned, and as you said, over 38 years of working around in the campus, in different companies, that you don't know everything, yeah, and you can't, there's nothing. There are many people who know more than you, so I think that humility is always useful. Yeah. Again, we all learn. I think leadership is something I would say is, without making too much out of it, I would say it's all about being human beings, just using your common sense, respecting people, and staying to your values. Yeah, so that's what I think really helps in everything. But really, to make change occur, I think you got to really get people together. I think in our organizations nowadays, getting people together is always a challenge, and I think we as leaders have to do that. And to do that, you got to build the bridges. You got to show your humility. You got to ensure that you are inclusive. Those are very important now. Yeah. So I think in the end, I think we as leaders can make a difference to this world. We as leaders can make a difference to organizations. Everybody. Yeah. I think we've got to just realize that one of our responsibilities as every employee or as every leader is to really ensure that we leave the organization and the world a better place, and we try a little bit to do that. So thank you very much, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you. And our next winner today is Ms. Vaishali Raj, Associate Vice President and Group Head of HR at Godrej Infotech. Her work as an exceptional HR manager stems from her belief that the HR function is a strategic business partner. She has been a key member in strategy formulation and executive decision that span people and technology. Join your hands together to welcome this exceptional individual who influences various stakeholders in the organization. We request you to share your perspective on leadership with our audience.
So good evening, everybody. And at the outset, I'd just like to thank Pragati Leadership, the jury, and I think also all my team members who probably came in for this event. So thank you, everybody, once again. And yes, I am deeply honored by this recognition that has been given to me. And when we look at leadership, or when we look at anything today, it's all going back to, pre-COVID and post-COVID, and how leadership probably has adjusted and needs to change. And I think one of the most important things for the leadership today is to not lose sight of our learnings during what we learned during COVID, during the pandemic, the skills that we develop. We don't need to lose sight of this now that we are back to normalcy. And I'd say that there are three important leadership skills that we should be integrating. And that's what I have tried to do as well. The first being is, of course, agility. The second is a data-driven decision making. And the third, I would say, something that is, irreplaceable, or you cannot substitute it. And that's something Mr. Deshpande also mentioned. That is empathy. We saw that, during the recent past, that's the last 2 years, we were forced to think quickly. We were forced to think quickly, and we were forced to adjust quickly. And those who didn't, be it people or be it organizations, they crumbled. At the drop of a hat, rules changed, rates changed, boundaries were shut down. We lost access to so many things. And if we couldn't adjust, and if we couldn't think, we were left behind. So I think agility is one of the most important things, and we need to integrate it into our own leadership style. The second, of course, I mentioned was, data-driven decision making. In the past, we would hear a lot about, that's a gut feeling I have, but I don't think it holds true now. There is so much of data available for us, and when we take decisions based on data, and I've seen, and though I've been an HR person all my life, many times, we kind of shy away from numbers, and we shy away from data because they actually put the mirror in front of you. And when we have to take those kind of decisions, and when we do take those kind of decisions which are drawn out from data, we can definitely make very informed decisions and very impactful decisions. So, and to be more data driven, I think there are three things here again that one should look at. One would be, of course, technology. And if you see in the recent past, companies who probably were on, this journey of digital transformation, and who probably thought it would take years, actually ended up doing it in a couple of weeks also. So one is the technology. Second, of course, is people. And third is process. And I must say that the best business plans come when there is the right, and there's a perfect combination of these three things at the core of business. And I would say the third thing is empathy. And like I mentioned before, there is no substitute. And I think we need to have a lot of compassion. We need to show our compassion, show our concern. And when at our workplaces, where we are able to exhibit it and make people feel taken care of, I think that makes them feel very safe and secure. And there is more collaboration among teams, irrespective of the age, experience, backgrounds, gender. People will collaborate better when there is a sense of security. And I've been a great believer in, servant leadership. And when you look at leadership styles of, like, say, Mother Teresa, where, they don't have to raise a war cry. And there's a lot that can be done through compassion than coercion. So I think, and especially because maybe I worked in the same organization all my life, which is a legacy organization, the value systems of the organization is something you imbibe with. I mean, they become your own values as well. So I think a combination of these three. And what's also surprising is that, when you have empathy and compassion, people are willing to experiment. They don't fear taking risks. And so it becomes a driver for innovation and going ahead. It's so important that a leader should always encourage innovation, because that is what is going to take your organization, your people, your team ahead. So, I mean, these are the three things I want to leave you all with. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much for that, Vaishali. Good afternoon, everyone. Next on our list of winners is a name that is recognized not just in India, but commands respect in the global arena. In his 5 decades of rich experience, he has taken Indian IT and consulting to the international stage. His business philosophy is to continuously experiment with the bleeding edge of technology, and while also ensuring that there is an impact and it plays or has an impactful role in society. In order to achieve this corporate goal, he ensures the company regularly collaborates with BBJSS or the Bhatke Vimukta Jati Shikshan Sanstha. The result is numerous CSR outreach programs that serves orphans, tribal communities, the physically challenged, and the underprivileged children in Pune. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. L.C. Singh, Executive Vice Chairman, Nihilant Limited, a leading global consulting and services company that uses a human-centered approach for problem solving and change management. Nihilant's comprehensive range of expertise in customer performance, customer research, process, and technology enables newer heights of business performance. Nihilant also enables customers to realize those strategic goals through its comprehensive business consulting, analytics, and technology offerings. Nihilant's user experience labs are based in Pune, Johannesburg, and Dallas, while Nihilant also has a presence in India, Sweden, UK, Australia, US, and South Africa, and also has strategic partnerships with Microsoft, SAP, AWS, Google, Snowflake, and others.
Whenever Mr. Singh is able to join, we would love to hear from him. In the meantime, I'll request Ritik, if you could just.
Sure. Thank you so much, Vasini. Our next winner performs the dual roles of Global Chief People Officer and Head of Marketing at Tech Mahindra. Harshvendra Soin has been associated with Tech Mahindra since 2012 now. He brings with him a rich experience of more than 26 years in the industry. Before joining Tech Mahindra, Harshvendra was the Chief People Officer at Fortis Healthcare Limited, and prior to that at Aditya Birla Retail Limited. Harsh has also worked towards creating innovative HR processes and policies in Bharti Enterprises, where he was Senior Vice President, People Excellence, before moving as the Head HR for Bharti Retail Limited. Mr. Soin, please address the audience and tell us how you made these wonders happen.
I indeed am humbled and honored to be recognized amongst India's best people leaders for 2022 by Pragati Leadership. And I can only say that the achievement is not mine. It is about the 170,000 associates who actually work day and night to make this happen. And on leadership, all I can say is a leader can only be as remarkable as the team supporting them. And I've been blessed that I have the Tech Mahindra associates, our customers and partners who make such recognitions possible. And it is only through their constant effort that we are able to proudly say we are an employer of choice. As I accept this award today on behalf of the teams that I work with, I also accept the responsibility of providing all the associates a workplace that is happy, healthy, and productive. So thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to the jury and the audience for making this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Soil, for addressing us with your valuable thoughts. The next outstanding individual on the list of winners today is a leader with a strong administrative strategy who believes that every employee's experience is determined by multiple factors and mostly influenced by the direct manager. He also introduced a very innovative concept, which is EVP, Employee Value Proposition, that is based on the strong pillars, which are leave a mark, experiment, learn and grow, learn with best, and we care. We are fortunate to have this talented leader join us today, and we are very glad to introduce Mr. Krishna Raghavan, Chief People Officer at Flipkart. So I would request you to enlighten us with your thoughts.
Thank you, Roger. I hope everyone can hear me all right. Yeah. So first of all, really happy to be here amongst so many esteemed leaders in the field, and so much to learn from as you actually share your experiences. So really happy to be here. I think for me, it's just an amazing honor to be able to be recognized in this forum, and thank you to Pragati Leadership for it. I think I wanted to just communicate for me how I think about leadership. I think a lot of great thoughts have been shared by other panelists, but for me, it's the 3 C's that actually matter, and it goes across all domains that I've worked in. I've had the good fortune of working in technology for 2 decades before switching over into HR in the last 3 years. So, I'm fairly a newbie in HR, so to speak, that way. But I think from a perspective of leadership, the 3 C's I talked about is really around how do you connect? And, connecting is very, very important while you actually diagnose anything, any problem, anything that you do. And when you connect with active listening without judgment. It's very important, I think, as a trait to build into the future. It's almost like a coaching space that you can provide to anyone. And so therefore, it all starts with the connect. And then secondly, how do you communicate? First of all, how do you close the loop? And the more powerful way of communicating for me is how do you inspire through purpose? A lot of organizations and a lot of, I would say, across both corporate, NGOs, they all have fantastic purposes. Are they relevant? Are they felt by every employee in the organization? So how do you inspire through purpose? And the why, as they say, is much more important than the what. The what keeps changing, but the why really is the most important. And finally, catalyze. Each of us, I believe, is endowed with unique skills. It's almost like a fingerprint or a DNA. So how do we bring out the best in every individual? No one individual is the same. How do we bring out the best, and how do we allow them to flourish and maximize themselves? How do we make them the best version of themselves? I think that's what leadership is about, according to me. So it's connect, communicate, and catalyze. And for me, that's meant a lot across when I worked in technology as well as now in the people function. I think we as leaders in the people function have an amazing opportunity to be able to shape people's lives within organizations. I think a lot of us spend significant portion of our waking hours at the workplace. And therefore, if we can get the workplace to be a fulfilling arena for employees and human beings, I think, and that's what the HR function is actually meant to do. So that's how I think about leadership and my role in HR. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Raghavan. It was a joy listening to your thoughts. Our next winner this evening is Milind Lakkar, Executive Vice President and CHRO at TCS. As CHRO, Milind is focused on further strengthening the high-performance culture of TCS and is passionate about building a purpose-driven learning organization that transcends geographical barriers and embraces practices that enable the future of work. His vision: having a positive environment means you don't have to be pushed to get work. Putting in place a culture of learning also means a person can quickly move up the value chain and has a more enriching career with us. The growth of the company is ably supported by the people function led by Milind. Mr. Lakkar is unable to join us today due to certain commitments, but we would like to express our congratulations and appreciation on behalf of the organizers of the awards and everyone at Pragati Leadership.
Anurag, a people and business-oriented HR professional, brings over 24 years of experience to his role at Unifor. He has worked in startups and fast-paced organizations where he played a critical role in building and transforming organizations and scaling the people function. He brings a rich and diverse experience in building culture, managing change, organizational development, and talent management. Anurag currently is traveling within the US, and while he was very keen to join the event, even though it's 3 very years, I don't think he's been able to join us. So we would like to convey our congratulations and our appreciation to him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And frankly, I've been very inspired by leadership of Pragati, as well as especially all the leaders at Pragati. They have shown us the way how to be empathetic, how to be caring, how to be thoughtful, and how the most important, how to be peaceful. So I also believe in peaceful existence, but that is external to the end result. But that peace is not easy to come by. It needs that fulfillment of what you want to do. So everything that at least I'm involved in, my first goal is to feel the satisfaction of achieving something creative, innovative, and which is useful to the humanity overall in today or tomorrow. So I think all my life I've been driven. It's very satisfactory, to see, in the last 50 years, the companies that have been associated, I think they're employing huge number of people, and kind of at least I lent a few bricks for the industry. And we're very proud, anywhere in the world I go, and, as an industry we go. And it's so fulfilling, we find leaders everywhere. And I meet them, they come and meet me, and it's really, truly, I get filled with pride. So it's not really after my name or my fame or my glory. No, that's not my consideration. And to me, I think we should not be thinking in terms of narrow. This boundary or that boundary, everything in the end is a boundary. So, but as humans, we feel very comfortable belonging to one boundary, two boundaries, three boundaries, four. And that's how the life gets very fragmented. I think Arun is an inspiring leader in that sense of holistic thinking, holistic problem solving. And I'm not using the word holistic in terms of very loosely. What I mean is that holism to me is that, do you know everything that can be known? So now, as soon as you define that principle, and that's what we've been experimenting, especially since last 6-7 years, about design thinking as an approach, and why it appeals to me is that because every business is for what? For serving a customer. Quite frankly, if you see 90% of objective really is that in terms of serving a customer. And everything else is peripheral, including making money. That you make money commercial because it's required for you to survive and thrive, so that you can keep serving better and better with better tools, better technology, and better things in life for them. So to me, I think everything I want to do is that for the humans, overall, their survival, longevity of life, their peace, and I think in leadership, what I practice and what I follow from leaders like whom I follow, and what I've learned from every institution and some of the great institutions, the summary is really that as long as your cause is big for everyone else and you are just an instrument to doing things, and you are not an objective. Your objective will be fulfilled only if you are fulfilling the objective for which you are created, which is to serve and make everyone else around you to their life beautiful. And I'm sure people who have tried that, they can see that how peaceful it feels now. So yes, I think we are in technology, but again, I don't want to experiment with technology which are intrusive to humans, which are violating my privacy. I believe firmly in anonymity, quite frankly. I'd rather live unknown and the way I want to live than be very famous, and then you start living by other standards, how they want you to be seen. So I think that's a very simple way. Even the simplicity, I don't want to publicize. I'm very happy. Arun knows he lived a similar life, and you understand what I mean. So corporate life, yeah, incidental. I've chosen this, and I've been doing my best all my life. And it's not that, I'm really, even today at almost 73, 74. It's not that one day I want to become billionaire. They are incidental. It happens, brilliant. Doesn't happen, also brilliant. So they are inconsequential. The consequences, can I create the industry of the future? So I'm saying we created a model which foundation was laid in 80s, and it flourished in 90s and 2000, early 2000 millenniums, and now, including now. So what, the companies you know as leaders have seen them $1 million, $2 million companies. So size is not I'm rather intimidated by. Nor I know it's a matter of consequence. You are doing the right things. You are on the right path, right DNA. If all is in place, there's no way, nothing will stop. And to me, I think that following with the conviction and propagating that and inspiring and leading your way and communicating to help people who are with you is what leadership to me is very simple. So it's not about me. It's about what I can create in others. Can I project what coming into the future and prepare newer industries, which are then the leaders now? Because as you succeed, very difficult to change. Who knows better than Pragati that changing the human trait, culture, is the most difficult thing in the world. I can change process, I can change technology, but try to change a person now. And what Arun and we have discussed often, that only one way to change the human. And all this, I can see that some great people are here. Many of them are very known, and I have heard about their names. And basically that you have to make people feel different and not argue with them that why you should do this when nobody's going to listen to you. If you make them feel different, then they're likely to change. So our job as change management consultants or consultants to maybe people feel that we show them that the consequence of that path and that leadership. So thank you very much, for giving this very great honor. Frankly, being associated with Pragati itself is an honor for me, and one of my greatest friends is her. So thank you, Arun and Anu, and the entire staff, some of whom are new and I'm not familiar. But thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Elsie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh is a stalwart of the IT industry, and we, of course, wanted to have him right at the beginning of the program. And then he said he can only join at a certain time. So he's come in a little later in the program. Absolutely a towering person, has made his mark, not only in the IT industry, but in various other fields, even in the creative fields. And I think that having his talk towards the end of the program, these words will stay with us. So really grateful to you for joining and for sharing, these such very inspiring thoughts. Thank you, Mr. Singh.
Thank you so much.
I'd also like to announce that we are very happy that Mr. Anurag Verma has just joined us. Raj already read out his citation, and we thought that he cannot join us. We know that it's about 3 a.m. currently. He's in the US, but he has joined us, and we've already heard about his achievements. So we can now invite him to just share a bit about his thoughts on leadership. Anurag, if you could please speak.
I'm humbled by the recognition, the honor cited to me, and from Pragati Leadership, and just being part, of this elite group of people who's here, and what you all are doing in this space. Really is a big honor, and can't express that in words. I'm doing my little bit, in the field of, you would say, human resources, and have been here for few years. I would say in helping organizations, uh, grow, build up, and also transform. Putting a very strong culture around people, and helping them achieve the business objectives through people. Because to me, in any organization, you may have a great technology, you may have a great product, great services, right? But that alone can't make a difference, because driving the force behind this are people, right? And each people to me are unique and different. And I've just been trying to practice the two words of HR, which is we are dealing with human beings, right? And the relations that we carry with them. And whatever little I have done or I have seen, when you build that bond of trust, the sense of purpose between the two individuals and then larger set of people, and when that purpose aligns with the organizational purpose and ethos, that's where the incremental force comes in. That's where the magic happens, and that's where you see great cultures within the company getting built. And that's the power of people that make it happen, make it achieve, and accomplish the extraordinary in the organization. So still, I would say I'm a learning journey. I dare not call myself at any level of any leadership. It's just that every opportunity that I get to interact with people in different formats, geographies, or organizations is a great learning. And I tend to put people first, and how through their collective energy, their collective zeal, you can achieve the company goals and objectives, which is paramount. But overall, trying to make a difference through people into organizations, and also helping the people leaders within the organization, or the senior leaders, how they can become better around people. So sort of doing a people coach, and as you all know, and you are great coaches than me, right? The job of coaches is to bring out the best from the individual or a professional themselves, and then how you can sort of give them those insights, those tools, but most importantly, help them go through that journey. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I love doing, and I keep learning from all of you. It's a great opportunity to get connected here, and would certainly look forward to the learnings that I would get from this. But once again, thanks so much for this honor. Really overwhelmed, and means a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us from all the way in the US, and we wish you the very best with your mission there. And we've actually now had a chance to listen to all our winners for this evening. So it's with a great sense of satisfaction we've had a chance to go through, like, share some of their journeys, their philosophies, and this has been like an outstanding opportunity for everyone who is attending this on Zoom, on LinkedIn, within Pragati as well as outside. This is just such a great inspiring journey for us. So the Inspiring and Successful Leadership Awards will be growing in momentum. And I'm sorry, I'm not able to start my video. The laptop is not detecting a video. So just give me a Just bear with me. This awards will grow in momentum and impact over the next few months and years. And I'm sure many of you will be a part of this evolution of the awards as they grow from strength to strength. And I'd like to once again thank our winners for joining us today. Each of you has is like handling such major responsibilities and has very busy schedules. So we really appreciate your time and sharing with us, some of those insights, thoughts, philosophies, perspectives, which are so very valuable. I'd like to thank our customers, our jury members, our advisory board, all our supporters, and our colleagues, friends, and families. All of you inspire us to achieve greater and greater heights, and we grow and we evolve together and into the future.
Just a big heartfelt thank you. It's such a warm feeling to have this community of great achievers, great leaders, and we are truly honored and humbled, and we all want to learn from you. We all want to be in touch with you, and together we can create a world that works for all. Wholeheartedly thank each person and everyone who's here. It's a joint movement now. It's no longer just silos. I think, as Elsie Singh said, it's about changing the world. It's about creating a new kind of world, and we are in transition, and India is the lighthouse. We are all together the people we are waiting for. So thank you once again. Have a lovely evening, and heartiest congratulations to the winners. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Bye. Take care. God bless. All the very best. Bye. Bye-bye.
So, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Kashish. Thank you, Anurag. Thanks, Nitin, Elsie, everyone. Thank you so much.